Let me ask you a question, and it's a big one. Is it possible your practice is losing over $150,000 this year without you even knowing it? It sounds kind of crazy, I know, but the numbers here tell a pretty shocking story. Seriously, think about it for a second. Imagine I hand you a check for 150 grand made out to your practice. Now, I want you to picture yourself just walking over to the office shredder and feeding it right in. You'd never, ever do that, right? Of course not. It's ridiculous. But here's the thing. What if I told you that something happening at your front desk every single day is pretty much the same thing? Because the data shows if your team is missing just 3 out of every 10 calls from new patients, you are, financially speaking, shredding that money. And that brings us to this huge and often totally invisible problem that we're calling the silent hangup. This is not some rare thing that happens once in a while. It is a massive issue happening across the entire dental industry, probably right now. It's so easy to think, oh yeah, my team's got it, they're answering every call. But let's be real, the front desk is chaotic. You've got patients checking in, insurance calls, billing questions. It's just inevitable that some calls are going to slip through the cracks. This isn't about blaming anyone, it's just a flaw in the system. So here's what that flaw looks like in numbers. The average dental practice misses somewhere between 32% and 38% of all their new patient calls. Let that just sink in for a second. We're talking about more than a third of your best leads, your potential growth just vanishing into thin air. That's not a small drip, that's a fire hose leak in your patient pipeline. Okay, so a third of calls get missed. That's a lot. But to really feel the pain of that, we have to put a dollar sign on it. We need to figure out what just one of those hangups is actually costing you. And this is where we have to talk about a super important idea: new patient lifetime value. Look, this isn't just about the money from their first cleaning. No. This is the grand total of everything that patient will ever spend with you over years, maybe even decades. It's all the checkups, the crowns, the high-value cosmetic work, the implants, plus all the family and friends they'll refer to you. It's the whole shebang. So what's the number? Well, on the high end, the lifetime value of one single new patient can be as much as $22,000. Wow. So you see, a missed call isn't a missed appointment. It's a potential $22,000 hole in your revenue. So how in the world does one little missed call turn into such a massive yearly loss? Okay, let's break down the math. It's simpler and, honestly, a little scarier than you might think. The math here is actually shockingly simple. Let's be super conservative and just say your practice misses 10 new patient calls a month. That's it. We just saw how each one of those could be worth anywhere from 8 grand to that $22,000 figure. Well, you start multiplying that out month after month, and the numbers, they just explode. And what does that explosion look like? We're talking over $100,000 in lost revenue every single year from just 10 missed calls a month. All of a sudden, that $150,000 figure we started with doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore, does it? Okay. So we've established there's a giant hole in the bucket. But here is the good news. That hole can be plugged. So now let's shift gears and talk about the solution that makes sure you catch every single drop of that potential money. I mean, it really boils down to this, right? On one side, you've got the problem. Almost 40% of your best calls are just gone and revenue is just pouring out. And on the other side, you've got the dream. 100% of calls are answered and all that revenue is captured. The entire goal is to get from the left side of your screen to the right. So how do you do it? How do you make that jump? The answer is a voice AI agent. Just think of it like the ultimate safety net for your front desk. It's a system that's always on, ready to make sure that no new patient ever gets a busy signal or gets sent to voicemail again. And this quote right here, it just nails it. The whole point is plugging the $150K hole in your bucket instantly. It takes that massive financial leak we just calculated and it fixes it right away. It turns a huge problem into a huge win. So I'll leave you with this one last thing to think about. Now that you've seen the numbers, what is the real cost of your phone ringing? It's a sound you hear all day long, sure, but every time it rings and goes unanswered, well, that could be the sound of thousands of dollars walking right out your front door. It's definitely something to think about.